There's an item that's used by 5 champions. This item has stacking passive. Also, this item gives second largest mana increase in the game. I'm talking about Fimbulwinter. Why only 5 champions build Fimbulwinter? Is it underrated and it's actually OP? In this video I will talk about Fimbulwinter and ignore Winter's approach, because most champions that build it buy tier. And by the time when they get Winter's approach, tier is fully stacked and Winter's approach turns into Fimbulwinter. Fimbulwinter is used by just 5 champions: Taric, Gragas, top lane Udyr, top Maokai and top lane Poppy. What all these champions have in common? They are broken. No, all these champions are tanks and they are mana hungry. But why its pick rate is so low? Other tanks prefer building more defense over mana items because they simply would benefit more from being tanky than running out of mana slower. For example, Doran prefers Thornmail over Fimbulwinter because yeah, with Fimbulwinter he wouldn't run out of mana, but he would lose a lot of survival ability. Thornmail plays a crucial role in the build of almost any tank, because it gives a lot of armor and it backfires some damage. Also, building Fimbulwinter requires buying a tier to get the stacks, which is limiting because instead of investing into armor or damage, you buy an item that just gives you some mana. Other tanks don't build Fimbulwinter because they are junglers or supports and they got enough mana from jungle item or support item. Poppy is one of those 5 champions that build Fimbulwinter, but only while playing top. While playing jungle, Poppy has infinite mana because jungle items gives you infinite mana and you just can't run out of mana. As a support, Poppy could run out of mana because sometimes 75% mana regen increase from support item is not enough. But as a support, Poppy has other objectives. Instead of dealing damage, which requires mana, her goal is to provide CC for her team, and 75% mana regen increase is more than enough for that. There is only one champion that builds Fimbulwinter while being a support, and it's Taric. Fimbulwinter perfectly synergizes with his kit, and he needs Fimbulwinter because he's not just mana hungry, he's extremely mana hungry, and support item doesn't give him enough mana, so he's forced to build Fimbulwinter, and sometimes not just Fimbulwinter but also Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart is the only alternative to Fimbulwinter. Some champions build it instead of Fimbulwinter because with Fimbulwinter you pay 1468 gold for HP, 750 for haste, and 860 gold for mana. Champions that don't want to pay 860 gold for mana have an alternative item: Frozen Heart. Nasus might benefit from some extra mana, but he doesn't want to build tier in the early game because he's already weak in laning phase, and tier would make it worse. And for Nasus, 860 gold for mana is just too much. He could buy Frozen Heart to get this extra mana that he needs, but unlike Fimbulwinter, with Frozen Heart you pay less gold for the mana and more for armor. Also, there are few tanks that don't have mana, so they don't need any mana items. Fimbulwinter's pick rate is so low because it's a niche item for tanks that really need mana. But is Fimbulwinter broken? No, it's used by 5 champions. But there is an item that's used by 1 champion and it's broken. If you wanna know more about this item, go and watch this video. Fimbulwinter gives almost the highest amount of mana in the game. The only item that gives more mana than Fimbulwinter is Seraph's Embrace. Fimbulwinter gives a lot of health in stats and its passive converts 15% of bonus mana into HP. Other items that are built from tier convert just 2% of mana into AP or AD. If the only mana item that you get is Fimbulwinter, you would get 129 health for free. Also, it gives haste and its overall gold efficiency is good. Overall, it's a strong item, but 15% conversion is too much? No, because Fimbulwinter is designed for tanks and there are only 2 mana items for tanks. It's Fimbulwinter and Frozen Heart. As I said before, tanks don't need that much mana, so they simply can't make a use of its passive. But it also has a second passive. Is it broken? That's how it works. It gives you a shield if you slow or immobilize an enemy champion. This shield scales from 100 to 180 plus 4.5% of your current mana. The shield is increased by 80% if more than 1 champion is nearby. Cooldown of this passive is 8 seconds. Wait, just 8 seconds? It looks broken. No. As I said before, tanks don't have much mana and its base shield is too small, so it's balanced. Also, Fimbulwinter is balanced because it requires stacks that could be transferred from tier. If you want to build Winter's Approach, Archangel's Staff or Mana Mune, you are forced to buy an early tier to get stacks. Overall, Fimbulwinter is a balanced item. Now you know about Fimbulwinter, but do you want to know about the most perfect item in League of Legends? Then go watch this video and please subscribe because I only got 302 subs.